because I'm trying to connect into my guide here and I just can't hear it. It's a conscious choice, you see, to be in relation. It's for your spiritual growth, my dears. It's for your growth. You will start to be connected in that way. You will start to hear. You'll start to see. You see, so you have to really say, well, instead of just saying, I can't hear it, and why not? You see, well, are you trying? Welcome back, loves. Ava Orah here for another episode of Spirit Guides Speak. We're on number 5 here, and if you want to go back and listen to all of these in order and binge watch, I highly encourage it. It's been such a fascinating series where we are taking the perspective of the guides and bringing that to you to really understand what they desire from the relationship and how to really have a relationship with your guides that is loving and expansive and communicative, and where you're both on board and you can hear and you're only connected into that and all the things, right? So in this episode, we're really talking about why you can't hear them. I mean, that's the biggest thing for most people, right? Like, why can't I hear my guides? Where'd they go? Sometimes this is like, I've never been able to hear my guide. I don't even know if I have them. I don't know if this is real. That's a fairly large segment. Like over half of the people that I work with have never felt connected to their guides. They maybe have a feeling that they have them, but they've never been tapped in enough to actually hear them, see them, work with them in any kind of significant way. And it's like a pain point. Like they want to. So I'm assuming that might be where you're at right now, right? So that's one camp. And then the other camp is people that hear them, have heard them, have gotten messages, but they're not consistent. Like they don't hear them every day. They're not like just on speed dial necessarily. So it's like random moments, seemingly random moments where they are hearing a message from their guide, and then the guides go quiet for 6 months or a year or longer even. And it's like, well, what happened? I was hearing them, and now it's like, I don't even know if they're still there. So we're going to talk about all of this here today, of why am I not hearing my guides? What's going on? And the different possibilities of what could be going on, because it's going to be individual. So that's the first thing to know, is it's not the same for everyone. And so your relationship with your guides is personal. It's meant for you, so it's also a season, right? So we work in seasons. Think about all the people that you've ever met in your life, like ever. Going back over the whole course of your life, and how many of them are you still connected with now that you were connected with a decade ago or 2 decades ago? And like looking back over your seasons of where you were in your life and what you were focused on and what you were engaged with and what you were learning and where you were living, and all of these things play a role in who we're interacting with and what we're looking for out of life. And people and circumstances align with our frequency of desire for the phases of life that we're in. So guides often work the same way, where they work seasonally as well. So it's not, for a lot of people, for some, you do have a guide that stays with you your whole life. But that's not necessarily true for everyone, and definitely not for everyone, and honestly not for most. So what's more common is to have a guide come for a season of your life, for a season of learning, remembrance, struggle, growth, all these different things that we go through, these initiatory moments, dark night of the soul. So all these phases of life, we get guides for them. And sometimes different ones show up to support in different ways because we're in a different frequency. So if you have a guide that's of one frequency and you're totally vibing in another thing, like you're not even on an availability. There's no availability there because you're dialing a different phone number, right? So different guides show up for different seasons. So that's the first thing to know, is you don't necessarily have the same guide for your whole life. And sometimes they can go and come back. And if you want to reconnect, like they're always there in frequency. It's a frequency, it's a phone number. So you can dial at any time, right? So it's there for you in that way. And the other thing here is that sometimes we don't hear them because we're not meant to. What do I mean by that? I mean, sometimes that's not the ask, is for your guide to be there, the one giving you the answers, or being dependent on them in that particular moment. It's meant for you to kind of rise up into your power, into your own authority, your own inner authority. So sometimes your guides will specifically take a step back in that particular way. They're always there for you and they're always supporting, but sometimes they can take a little bit of a step back and make it a little bit more like kind of like pushing you off the deep end a little bit. Like when you can see the swimmers ready for the deep end and they're just scared, sometimes it's kind of like just giving them that gentle little loving push to say, you can do this. I know you can do this. And so they work in that way too. There's all kinds of different ways. So those are just a couple reasons. I'm curious to hear what DiYeena has to say. For those who are new, you're like, what's going on? So I channel a being named DiYeena of the Pleiadian family. And she is coming through to really share her perspective on this whole topic of guides, because it's such a big one. And it's such a one that we all want to have a relationship and get it right kind of thing. And kind of have these unanswered questions answered. And who better to answer the question than the Pleiadian in the room, right? So for those who are new, you'll want to grab some tea or at least some water. If you don't have anything to sip on, you can grab what you have. And we'll do a little tea ceremony here with DiYeena because she loves her tea and I love to bring her some. And so I'm drinking some mint with a little cacao today. And it's one of my favorites. And it's from my land here. So that's where we're at here in Vermont. So I'll go ahead and go right out and put you in touch with DiYeena. Greetings, this is DiYeena of the Pleiadian family. We are here first and foremost to bring the love, to bring the love. Good, okay. And also to sip a good cup of tea every now and again. So let's raise our cups together. So we're opening our hearts together, opening the circuitry, getting connected into the land, the waters, in the body, out of the body, all together here. We're increasing the light, increasing the magnetism, increasing our frequency. All through being consciously engaged in this little ceremony here where we get to sip together. So raise your cups. You can put in a chat where you're coming from, what you're drinking, and what you're having here today. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. It lets us all know we're connected even more when we get to hear what you're drinking and where you're from. So let us go together. Here we are. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Oh, we like the mint. It's good. Okay, here we are, guides talking about guides again. Here we are. Why are you not hearing? Well, here's a big one. You have to be willing to get quiet internally. You see, this is really the anchor point of the whole thing. You see, the more noise you have in the external environment, you see, whether you are doom scrolling on your phones or you're tuning into the television, they're telling your vision instead of you having your vision. So with the more that you are outsourcing your power, giving your power away to any screen, really, you are deciding, you're making a conscious choice to give your power to that thing. To give your power to that social media or to that website or to that movie or to that news station, you see, or to that influencer or follower or whatever the case may be. You're giving a little bit of your power. And so that is a little bit less power that you have then to have your own vision. You are allowing others to tell you their vision. Program you through their visions, you see. So you're consuming rather than being in relation with that which you are connected into in your power, you see. So that is another reason. Another one, you silly humans, sometimes we have to say, you see, you go through these things that you call you go through these little moments here where you take on different frequencies. You decide, well, I'm going to go through and heal this family lineage trauma, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to clear that and do that. And so we have all these experiences that that imprint us into the DNA and tell a story. They tell another story. So some of you are not hearing your guides because somewhere in the path of your soul's journey, you believed or you were experienced where it wasn't safe to be in your power in that way. And so you've shut it off. Some of you are doing that. You're unconsciously disconnecting your abilities to connect in that way because it doesn't feel safe to be seen in your gift, to be seen in your power, to be seen in your intuition, to be seen in your spiritual seeing, your spiritual knowing, things like this. So that's something to consider. Do I fall into that camp? You see, even just a little bit. You see, several of you have been burned at the stake, for example, or beheaded or persecuted in different ways for being in your intuitive gifts. It's a very common wound. It's a very common wound, and it affects all your timelines when you have not closed up the loops. When you have not closed the loops, and this is psychically influencing your current timeline. There's something in your psychic field that's saying, "Oh, we can't connect in that way because it's not safe because of what happened last time." So you have to come into completion with those frequencies of what happened last time, so that you can be fully present here and fully available to be in your power, my dears. So that's a big one. That's a big one of what blocks us from connecting in with our guides. For some, not for all, for some. And then the other thing is what Ava was saying here about how guides work. You see, we kind of come in for moments, and we like to kind of give you. We're not here to interfere with your free will. We're not here to interfere with your free will. So we're going to support at the level you ask us to, at the level we have your permission to. So if you're not telling us every day saying, "Hey, thank you, my guides, for being here today. So grateful for you, and you have my permission to go to work on my behalf." Sounds simple, but it is very helpful to do, because that gets us all into the free will, a living contract, so to speak, living agreement that yes, we're here together to do it in this particular way, and we both like it. We both say yes to it. You see, so then we can really play. So you don't have to always be in the direct conscious conversation to be connected, you see. So trusting in the unseen world, or the unfelt world, or the unheard world, that there's still energetics moving in the light of the circuitries there, you see, if you desire it. You see, so there's seasonality to it all, and that is the biggest thing, in addition to some of these traumas that we choose to take on as humans. So these are reasons why you might not be hearing your guides, whether you've never heard them or you used to hear them and now you don't. The never hearing, look and see if that resonates. Maybe you don't have an intellectual knowing of where that story came from, but there's something in you that says, "Oof, that one hits a little deep when you say that about potential trauma in the field." You see, that one feels like a possibility, you see. And you can work and clean that out of the system. It's just a frequency. You can say, okay, that frequency is not really serving anymore, so we'll just play a new tune, you see. Don't have to play it if you don't like it, you see. But if you are still playing it, then part of you likes it. So just get clear on what part of you is liking that song. Usually it's the part that's providing a sense of safety or a sense of love, or some other thing like that, you see, that feels a little important, you see. So get clear, and then be clear you're ready to let that go and come back to you. Come back to you, my dears. Come back to yourself. So this is really, really all of it, because really at the end of the day, the guides are not there as show for you to say, "Oh, well, we really want to be connected in this way because it provides some sort of egotistical relationship," or anything like that. It's not really for show. It's for your spiritual growth, my dears. It's for your growth. So whatever is going to support you the most in the moment, in the seasonality of your life, that's going to give you that breakthrough moment, that's going to give you that boost. It might be being extremely connected, and hearing the conversation every day is going to be the most important thing for you. It might be that you are meant to go straight to source and connect in and have that circuitry so strong that nothing else is in the way or being influenced or even paying attention to. It might be that it's your higher self and you're really meant to get connected into your unique frequency and expression. That might be the thing. So you have to really get clear. Or you might be in a deep depression, a deep, dark night of the soul kind of thing. In which case you have specific guides that are there kind of singing a specific tune of frequency to kind of help hold you in that experience, you see, for as long as you like to dance there. So it's really for your evolutionary growth of what it is that you're choosing on a soul level to experience, first of all, because a lot of times we go choose the hard ones because we want to know all the frequencies. And so then we get down here in the meat suit and say, wow, I didn't know it was going to be this hard, you see. So they're there in all these different ways. And to recognize that it's a conscious choice, you see, to be in relation. And when you're not hearing them, it's also really just taking a step back and saying, well, is this because I'm through that season of my life? Look at when you were, if you were here connected in and now you're not, look at what was happening in that season of your life. And are you still in that season? If not, then perhaps your guide and you have ended the contract you've completed, you see. Or it may be that if you've never heard them and you just can't get clear, you see, well, am I blocked? Do I believe that that I'm not safe to connect? That I'm not safe to be seen, that I'm not safe to be in my power, that it's not safe to be me. Any of those things ringing a bell, if there's any kind of frequencies of that could be potentially blocking it, you see. Also, just getting quiet inside is another big one, because it's like building a muscle. You have to be willing to provide yourself a silent anchor point to actually have a place to listen from. Because you can't hear if it's noisy. Even when there's people talking in the field in the room, you have to say, can you please be quiet? I'm trying to have a conversation here and you're being too loud and I can't hear the person in front of me. So that is true with your life and your guide. You say, well, life, can you just quiet down a little bit around me? Because I'm trying to connect into my guide here and I just can't hear it. So turn off the television, turn off the news, turn off the distractions. Turn off the distractions in your life and choose intentionally to quiet it internally so that you can hear the circuitry. It's all in your intention, my dears. If your intention is pure and you desire it and you stick with it, you will start to be connected in that way. You will start to hear, you'll start to see. You see, so you have to really say, well, instead of just saying, I can't hear it, and why not? You see, well, are you trying? Are you getting quiet? Are you making time for it? Are you putting out the tea party for them? Are you, writing in your journal? Are you taking action steps that show you're serious about this? Because that's oftentimes all it takes, my dears. So look at your life and see what one resonates most with you. Put it in the chat below even. Put it in. Get a conversation going. What is it for you? Are you connected to your guides? Do you hear them consistently? Or do you hear them sporadically? Do you know who your guides are? Tell us. We'd like to hear from you. What are you struggling with around the topic of guides? So let us know in the chat below. And we send you a little blessing from Pleiadians that you are able to integrate these frequencies of love, that you are able to really open your heart and connect in and to not get too caught up in the mind when you are in the frequency of connection into all that is, because it's all facets of the one. Blessings, dear ones. We love you dearly. We hope to see you again soon. Blessings. I trust that message was exactly what you needed to hear today. And if you liked it, you know what to do. Subscribe, send it to a friend, and also head over to DiYeena Live. That's at avaorah.com/live. And come to our next live stream. We do them every single month, and we'd love to see you at the next one. And blessings, dear ones. We also do, if you want a private reading, if you something that you feel like you are really desiring some personal one-on-one guidance, you can check out the website for more information on that, as well as I just opened up my calendar for some slots. So go check it out. All right, blessings, dear ones.